Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the new Skaven firepower for the Ratling Warpblaster, and it looks sick. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Introduce the mortal realms to the true meaning of firepower with the new Ratling Warpblaster. Skaven are back in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and there's a very good reason why the launch box is called Skaven. As the treacherous ratmen spill onto the mortal realms, they'll bring new horrors and innovations, usually together. So there's a little video showing off the Skaven Ratling Warpblaster. If you haven't checked out the entire Skaven preview, I highly recommend it. It's very cool. From globes of poisonous gas to searing sheets of emerald warplane, the masterminds of Clan Scryer are at the forefronts of mass destruction, and the Ratling Warpblaster is their latest twisted creation. So seeing this thing rolling down the field, pushed by like the 4 little rat slaves down here with the Scryer gunner on top is absolutely awesome. I love this model. I think it's great. It's got all the right detail. Beautiful new kit, and then obviously the paint job is awesome on this thing, so putting it on the tabletop is going to be a ton of fun. These powerful rotary cannons are mounted on a rickety wood frame and powered by an overcharged warpstone accelerator battery. The warlock gunner piloting this contraption is only able to do so much to wrestle its aim given the level of recoil, and their primary task is venting the warpstone gas that builds up in the gun. The supervising warlock engineers who manage these artillery batteries goad their gunners into turning off suppressors and gunning the mechanism for all it's worth. Alright, so here's the new official data sheet. So move 6, health 7, save 4+, control 2. Ratling Warpblaster. Range weapon, hail of warpstone bullets. 20-inch range, 3d6 plus 3 shots. So on average you're going to get about 17. Hits on 4s, wounds on 3s. Rend 1, damage 1, crit, auto wound. So 6s to hit will auto wound. And then the melee profile, Thrall Rat Claws, 4 attacks, hit on 4s, wound on 5s, no rend, 1 damage. So definitely meant to be shooting. Passive ability, Overwhelming Fire. Effect, add 1 to hit rolls for this unit's shooting attacks that target an enemy unit that has 10 or more models. So hitting on 3s if they have 10 or more models is definitely a nice little profile and boosts its output pretty substantially with that many shots. And then once per turn, army-wide, your shooting phase, more warpstone bullets. Effect, if this unit is within the combat range of friendly Scryer hero, this unit's hail of warpstone bullets has an attacks characteristic of 6d6 plus 3 instead of 3d6 plus 3 for the rest of the turn. However, for each unmodified hit roll of 1 for an attack made with this unit's hail of warpstone bullets, inflict 1 mortal damage on this unit after the shoot ability has been resolved. Okay, so let's do some math here real quick. So that's going to be an average of 24 shots. All you got to do is have any Scryer hero touching this guy's base. So 24 shots, let's say you're shooting at a 10-man Stormcast Eternals unit, so you're getting the +1 to hit. That means you're hitting on 3s, which means you're going to average 16 hits. So that is pretty insane. 16 hits wounding on 3s means on average you're going to do about 11 wounds with rend 1, damage 1, and your 6s will auto wound. So very, very strong. But then the drawback is inflict 1 mortal damage on this unit after the shoot ability has been resolved for each unmodified hit roll of 1. So with 24 shots, that's going to mean you're going to roll roughly 4 1s. Could spike and easily do like 5, 6, or 7. Or could roll well and only get a couple. This thing has 7 health. So that means if it's at full health, you're basically knocking off a little more than half its wounds, but almost doubling its shots. So very cool. Definitely like fits the lore that he basically doesn't want to take his finger off the trigger. Unloads a massive amount of firepower, but at the cost of its own destruction, potentially. So if this thing is already wounded, especially if it's taken more than like 2 or 3 damage, the temptation to rock out the temptation to use this special ability goes down substantially because there's definitely a possibility of its own destruction. So really cool, really thematic, awesome output. The actual range of the attack is only 20 inches. So with its move of 6, that's a 26-inch threat range. So centrally located, this thing can definitely hit what it wants to. I think introducing cool little abilities like this that potentially damage themselves but increase the output, and then limiting it to once per turn for your army is definitely awesome. Obviously, if you have a few of these things, you can cycle through them, damaging each one slightly, but not necessarily having as much risk of blowing one up. And of course, if you're going up against these things, even if you don't take it out in a single shooting phase, you're definitely going to want to knock some damage off this thing. So if it does try to go use the more warpstone bullets, there's a good possibility that it dies anyway. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOgames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. So super cool model, super cool mechanic, pretty simple, laid out so there's no question as to how it works. I love it. I think Sigmar 4.0 looks awesome. I think some of the new stuff that they've brought in, bringing back some of the universal special rules, kind of simplifying the game, but still having like awesome stuff laid out on the data sheets like this is a great improvement. And I'm not sure if this is going to be a thing, but obviously in 40K, you have the ability to repair vehicles with certain characters. So there's always potential that they'll introduce a dynamic like that as well. But obviously we've seen that some of the orders have the ability to heal stuff as well. So this unit definitely looks like a juicy target to keep it shooting at top capacity, substantially decreasing the risk that you're going to blow it up in a single round of shooting and making sure that it's raining down those more and more warpstone bullets throughout the game. So very cool. When the engineers demand more warpstone bullets, the gunners are happy to hold the trigger down until the weathering fusillade either saturates enemy infantry with overwhelming fire or the machine rattles itself to pieces. The Skaven have plenty of weapons that might crack the armor of the Stormcast Eternals, and with the Ruination Chamber open, they'll need them. These battle-hardened warriors of Sigmar are a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, I am absolutely loving this. Skaven Tide looks like an amazing box set. It's packed full of miniatures, beautiful sculpts. Sigmar 4.0 looks awesome. I am definitely super excited for this release. And as we get closer to the potential release date, as we hear more information, obviously we'll keep up on it. Games Workshop has been releasing sort of like some faction focus articles and just kind of going down the line. I don't want to overwhelm you guys specifically with like each of those, because I know that a lot of people either don't play Sigmar or are only interested in like one or two factions. And with something like 25 total and lots of other Sigmar channels out there, I don't mind leaving a little content for the other guys. So very cool. Let me know what you think of the actual models in the kit. Are you excited to play Skaven or Stormcast? Are you interested in doing like more of a traditional paint scheme or something different? What do you think so far of like the new data sheets coming out? Some of the army rules or like mechanics that have been previewed? I know I'm super excited for this edition. I feel like it's awesome. There is a ton of excitement building in our local community, and we are going to be running a escalation league. So make sure to stay tuned for that, as we'll do like regular updates. I'll definitely have some like hobby and gaming content as well. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I got a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of rats on the table. And I'm out of here.